I don't know what I'm doing. I can't control anything. It's just super scary for me.
Imagine what it would be like if a simple illness or injury had the potential to kill you.
If you don't have your steroids in your system in the time of need, things can start shutting down in 30 minutes or less, and that'll be your heart, your lungs, your liver, your whole body just shuts down.
Adrenal insufficiency is a life-threatening condition that occurs when the body cannot produce enough cortisol and often aldosterone, two hormones vital to life.
For a child, you might just think they have the flu. When they're really super sick, they might be having an adrenal crisis, but to someone who doesn't know, it just looks like they're having the flu.
Adrenal insufficiency is a condition underdiagnosed, misdiagnosed, and misunderstood by not only friends and family, but by many in the medical field. During a crisis, low sodium levels can cause delirium and abnormal brain function. This might be interpreted by observers as the patient being drunk or overdosed. Corinza Summers is misunderstood a lot.
A lot of people do, yes. They think I should be on medication. I've either got to be full of crap or exaggerating or lazy. Lazy is a huge one.
Probably beginning in 2013, about a year before my diagnosis, I began having vague symptoms, and they were really vague. I thought they were symptoms of being in my early 50s.
There are different forms of adrenal insufficiency. Addison's disease, a form of primary adrenal insufficiency, was brought to the public's attention when it was discovered President John F. Kennedy was diagnosed with it.
Primary adrenal insufficiency is due to a problem with the adrenal glands themselves. So usually there's an injury or a defect within the adrenal gland production of cortisol and aldosterone.
It took several trips to the emergency room before Dr. John Silver was diagnosed with primary adrenal insufficiency.
Addison's is such a rare disease in the state of Oregon. There are probably only 400 people with primary adrenal insufficiency. They just don't come across it enough.
Secondary adrenal insufficiency is a totally different disease.
I think there's a difference, though, between some people like me who have primary adrenal insufficiency and are quite active and functioning, and some of the other folks who have secondary adrenal insufficiency, because they're ravaged first by their primary disease that gave them secondary adrenal insufficiency, and then they're also dealing with their secondary adrenal insufficiency.
It is estimated there are 6 million undiagnosed cases of adrenal insufficiency in the United States alone.
There's over 60 conditions that can cause someone to become adrenal insufficient.
Problems with the pituitary gland, certain cancers, conditions treated with steroids, and thyroid problems are just a few of the more common causes. 20 years ago, Corinza Summers' thyroid problems began. Now she has secondary adrenal insufficiency.
Ended up basically quitting my job because I couldn't withstand the pressure of just anything, really. Told my roommate I thought I was dying and I needed to leave.
During times of illness or injury, the body naturally produces extra cortisol to maintain normal functions such as fluid balance and blood pressure. Since those with adrenal insufficiency are unable to produce adequate levels of cortisol, an additional dose of hydrocortisone is necessary.
It makes me feel normal.
Without this extra dose, an adrenal crisis causing shock, heart failure, coma, and even death can occur. No other treatment will be effective until this extra dose is given.
Without the cortisol, people can have heart attacks, strokes, coma, death.
Living with adrenal insufficiency can be very difficult. 12-year-old Ryan Crowley remembers how bad it was before he was diagnosed and treated.
Lots of stomach problems and lots of anxiety, which is not good.
He was in first grade and he lost a lot of weight. In just like 2 months, he went from like 42 pounds to 29 pounds. And as a first grader, that's skin and bones.
Emotional stress is also harder for Ryan to manage without cortisol production. Seemingly small things, like a trip to the dentist, turned overwhelming very quickly.
It's like really freaking out. I'm like screaming and trying to stop everybody. I'm trying to push them away, trying to tell them like, please don't do it. Please don't do this. Please don't do that.
Adrenal insufficiency, I had never heard those words put together in my life. I had no idea what it was.
As long as I keep myself healthy, I'm okay. I don't deal with stress well.
In order to prevent an adrenal crisis, people with adrenal insufficiency need an immediate injection of hydrocortisone following any sort of accident, trauma, or other stress on the body.
People have died in our group because they weren't admitted immediately and given their injection. Children have died, adults have died. A $10 shot is the difference between life and death. And in the United States, someone shouldn't die because of a $10 shot.
Not everyone with adrenal insufficiency is affected in the same way, but all are at risk of death from an adrenal crisis.
You either take with a grain of salt or you sit in bed and cry all day.
You know, instead of calling people crazy and not listening, you know, we need more people to really understand that there is something going on.
It's never going to go away.
There is no cure for adrenal insufficiency. Jennifer's daughter, John, Ryan, and Carinza will always have to watch, keep medication nearby, and adjust life around their adrenal insufficiency.